Ooh, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Podcast. I am your host, the infallible, the fanatic, the quite frank Phil Marks. And joining me today is Duke LovesRasslin. So we recorded the interview a couple days ago. I didn't tag it with an intro or an outro, really. We were on limited time. So really quick, I want to shout out our tribal chief, Simon V. Sora, Choke Dealer B, Tranquility 4, Juan Salazar, James Gonzalez, Brad Becker, Corey B, Chris E, Moose Knuckle, Mike Sausalis, Crunchy, Cheeto Creative, El Huapo, Diablo, J Chase, Jared Brady, Tyranitar, J&D, Lincoln Hawk, Donnie Soares, Tom Reed, You Ain't Hype, LK, George Capture, Scully Vibes, Aziz, Gilgamesh, Jamie Earhart, Bocce Ball Pro, Elijah Mahmood, Derek H, Travis Cooper, Freeze at Sky, Eric Galperin, Cruz Madrid, Denisha Lane, Paul Simmons, Cruz Madrid again, Chris Killis, Mark Hugh the Mark, Ashley V, and Russ Paxson. I acknowledge you all. Today's show is going to get into an update on the Soft Ground Uganda wrestling stuff, which just is all news, and I can't even really still to this day wrap my head around it. And we get into, you know, the Fightful Doxxing fail that happened. You know what I mean? It was incredibly humiliating. Duke has a lot to say about that, and he chose to come to PWT to say it. And so, without further ado, let's jump into that. Actually, really quickly, though, PWT live show goes down every Wednesday night and Saturday night, or whenever there's a PLE on the weekends. And this weekend, October 19th, is the birthday celebration, I guess, if you will, stream. And so I hope you all join me for that, because it's going to be fun. You're going to get a lit Phil lit. Yeah, and it's going to be a fun old time. So make sure you come through for that. And yeah. Without further ado, Duke LovesRasslin. So joining me now on the show, guys, is the returning Duke LovesRasslin. Round of applause. I don't have my soundboard here because we're zooming it up, but at DLovesRasslin on X, if you're watching, you can see on the screen, of course, the host of Duke LovesRasslin and Devon and the Duke, with WWE Hall of Famer, TNA Hall of Famer, all around, one of the GOATs, the GOAT of tag team wrestling for sure, Devon Dudley. And Duke, you're back on the show, man. I'm so glad to finally have you back. We missed you here.
Well, it is my pleasure to be back on Pro Wrestling Times. I know you got in a little bit of trouble last time I was on. I don't think Mansoor is going to be sending you any holiday cards or anything like that, or our friends over at Soft Ground Wrestling. I don't think they're going to be inviting you to come and roll around in the dirt with them anytime soon. So,
no, I don't.
But yes,
think so.
I'm back, and hello to all the Pro Wrestling Times listeners out there. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, you know, you're welcome back anytime. And, you know, originally we wanted to link up and talk about the CM Punk fight, and then we were getting in a fight, and this was and then it was like, it was so long ago now, the anniversary, where it's like, we're past that. We got more relevant, more topical stuff to go over, I think, especially currently. It's weird how these things happen, where Duke, you're back on the show and there's these sort of like updates, or it's almost like a part 2 of what we were talking about last time. And I didn't plan this, I swear, but you know, we have updates from Soft Ground Uganda Wrestling, and then you told me off air, you're like, well, I have some updates too. And I'm like, well, shoot, we might as well, we got to talk about that. And then also in the show, you know, we've had some more IWC Fightful SRS craziness, which we talked about the last time you were on. So I kind of want to talk about some of that stuff as well. Guys, if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe, 5 stars on whatever app. And shout out Apple Music. After like a year and a half, we're finally on there, and we cracked the top 100 podcasts in wrestling. So let's round of applause for that. Yeah, let's jump right into things. Duke, how have you been? And what do you got going on? Is there anything you want to plug or anything like that before we dive right into the juiciness, or you just want to get into things?
Well, let's just, I mean, obviously you plug the Twitter account, and of course, folks, you can hear the Duke LovesRasslin podcast and all the major podcast feeds out there. It's free. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. Also, the Devon and the Duke podcast is part of the same feed. It's on the Duke Loves Wrestling Network. So check it out. We're always dropping bombs on there. So,
Yes.
if you enjoy what you hear here, you'll definitely enjoy it there as well.
Absolutely. And yeah, I just want to get those good and out of the way at the tippy top of the show in case we forget later. So, we do this thing, Duke, where we dive into what's known as Phil Marks bookmarks, and it can be a dark and scary place, silly place sometimes, fun place, but also disturbing place at times. An update here. So I saw this on X. I bookmarked it and I said, I think I have Duke coming on soon. He's the first guy I want to get his reaction to this. So a tweet came out. This is 2 weeks ago. Ground Wrestling Uganda posts a picture of a ring. And they say, SGW wishes to apologize for the ring arrival delays. Still, man, this is 2 weeks ago. And I looked yesterday, and there were people like, where's the ring? And they were responding to them like, you'll be proven wrong soon, etc., etc. But anyways, so they're still on about, publicly, they're still on about this ring. Still hasn't arrived. Anyway, sorry. We are so much concerned about your reviews. Keep calm. We promise to display it ASAP. LOL, Pro Wrestling Maniacs. Keep supporting SGW Uganda. And then somebody quote tweeted it and said they're saying that they bought this particular 20 by 20 ring. This is actually a 16 by 16 ring, is listed in USA Fight Shop, and it's just a picture lifted from this website. And they've been saying all this time there was a problem with money transferring and transporting the ring, and now they can just buy a ring from the US out of nowhere for $10,000. This person's pointing out, right? Duke, what do you make of all this? Clearly shenanigans going on, correct?
Absolutely. Shenanigans. And that international crime boss, Bombash Daniel, aka Daniel Bomba, his brother's already in jail, and Bombash will be joining his brother soon enough. Okay, that's coming. He's actively being investigated because there's concern that he's actually laundering money for some pretty unsavory people who may have ties to terrorism. Okay, so I just said all that out loud publicly. And that's information
Duke said all that.
Absolutely. And that's information that I received there. So I'm telling you, Bombash Daniel, you're actively being investigated. And the best part about it is they already have plenty on you, man. You know what I mean? The jig is up. So now it's just a case of how bad are you going to make it? Right. So let me make that clear. Cody Rhodes is not buying these folks a ring. Okay. He's been contacted enough times. It's very clear that this is a scam. He's been made aware of the article. He's been made aware of everything we've said on social media and through the podcasting. There's no way he's buying those folks a ring, which is why it hasn't happened yet. Right. So taking photos, off the internet and making these crazy claims is just incredible to me. And it just further shows how much of a scam these guys are. But here's the worst part. You don't even have a place to store the ring. You don't even have a way to repair the ring when it ultimately, things start falling apart, which happens all the time. It's a wrestling ring. You bounce enough times on the ropes, you're going to have to replace the ropes. You get slammed on the canvas enough time, the canvas will tear and all that. Like, these things happen. They have no way of maintaining a ring. Why the hell would they need a ring at this point? $10,000 should be able to feed them for a little while, or at least get real beds or something like that, something that they still don't have technically. So the whole jig is up, and the amount of money that was going into them has slowed down tremendously, right? So
where was it coming from before? Sorry, Duke. Where was the money coming from before?
Donations from all of these bleeding heart wrestling fans.
Okay.
Who were still trying to support them. I know that Tate Mayfair's, the UK pro wrestler, he recently sent them the money that he had raised for them. And it was only a couple of grand, but still, it was something. He recently sent that over to them. But that's been the biggest piece of change that they've received ever since we blew the whistle on these folks, right? Yeah. So one of the things that's been happening now is they've been actively targeting anyone who has reached out to folks like myself and spoken out against them. So these are people who are in soft ground wrestling previously and then chose to speak out, because we did a whole spaces on them where we had some speakers come out. They put out a video saying, we were there for them only to sell us like sheet. Not, not the other word, but sheet, SHEET.
Mhm.
God bless them. One of the things that Bombash Daniel loves to say is God will bless you real soon. That's his way of threatening to do harm to people.
Oh, wow.
So he has a video where he shows their faces and literally highlights them. And at the end of the video, it says F you, and he actually spells out the word. So this guy's actively threatening these folks who have spoken out from the inside, and their safety is definitely in jeopardy because, Bombash Daniel and his brother, this is what they do. They beat people up, they extort them, they hurt them, they run schemes, and they're tied to some pretty bad dudes, as the orange hair guy and out here running for president would say. So, folks, make no mistake about it. All of the scumbags who did not do their due diligence and supported this nonsense, you supported an international crime boss who is still running wild and who is now getting more volatile because he's not receiving the scam money that he was getting before, and he probably has to answer to somebody over that. Where's the money? You know what I mean? So this is a bigger deal than these folks even realize. And shame on the scumbags over at Fightful in particular who boosted this nonsense, right? I am all over them on this. You boosted this, Sean Ross Sapp, and all of the scumbags. What's the girl's name with the Kate girl, whatever her name is? All you goofballs boosted this. And this guy is getting worse and worse. And I'm telling you right now, the first time somebody gets hurt and we can directly link it to it, I'm putting that right on you folks. You did this to them. That's on your hands.
Damn.
And you're going to deal with it. Simple as that.
So we have guys like Will Ospreay, I think, is still, or maybe he's not. Maybe I don't know, but I still see Soft Ground Uganda because I still follow them and I get a kick, dude. I get a kick out of watching their wrestling and stuff on Twitter. I won't lie, I enjoy it. I think it's unique. Like we talked about it last show, I feel like a ring sort of takes away their identity too. If we're gonna make it about the wrestling here, like it's Soft Ground Wrestling. Why put him in a ring? Anyways, Will Ospreay, I think, is still like, I'm gonna come wrestle there or whatever. What do you make of wrestlers still? Like, is everyone aware of this, or is this still a pretty down low type of thing?
There is not a single wrestler who has boosted this group who has not been made aware of this directly. Okay, there's and you could just go into the comments and you could see it. They've all been tagged. They've all been reached out to. It's impossible for them to not have seen this. So anyone who continues to support them, you're supporting somebody who potentially is tied to terrorism. We know that he's an international crime boss already. That's a fact. So you're already supporting this criminal doing these things. But you're supporting something that could be even worse than that. So, for Will Ospreay, which I don't really have much of an opinion on him at all, I think he's taken too many. He said it himself that he's taken too many hits to the head. So, you know what I mean? How much can I blame him for the poor decision making that he makes? The fact still remains, though, buddy, you were told many times over that this was not legitimate. If you're still tweeting in support of this nonsense,
I don't know if it's him or if it's like Soft Ground still tagging him, because they still talk about Cody. If people are like, well, where's the ring? You guys still don't have a ring. Cody would be disappointed in...
Cody has not mentioned him in months.
I know, but that's what they say. So I apologize. I'm not saying Will Ospreay's out there.
Hold on a second, though, Phil.
Yeah.
This is important, though. Cody has not mentioned him in months. He literally stopped.
Absolutely.
Stop.
Yeah, and I wanted to just say that, like, I don't mean to, the reason I brought that up was because I just wanted to say, like, I don't mean to say Ospreay's actively, like, I'm going to go out there and wrestle still, bruv. I don't know, but I know they're still mentioning him, at least, and so the last I saw, though, Ospreay was going to go out there and have a match. I've heard no updates since, so that's why I just sort of brought him up, because I see Soft Ground responding using, like, Cody and Will. And it's like, maybe someone can fact check me on that. I don't know if Will's brought them up in months either, but the last I saw fairly recently, he was going to go have a match there or whatever. And we haven't heard anybody really publicly, other than Duke, come out and like, we denounce this thing. Not that even I care. I don't need anyone to denounce Soft Ground Uganda Wrestling. You know what I mean? I don't even have an agenda. I'm not out to get them. I'm just interested in the information. I'm not out here trying to do a gotcha on anyone or anything. And some people might play devil's advocate, and I'll play devil's advocate to you, Duke. The wrestling's entertaining. They're training people seemingly properly. I mean, some of the guys,
No.
I mean, yeah, they're just
No, they're
taking
not.
bumps on mud and everything, right? But are these wrestlers like the athletes, let's call them, the ring announcers, and these folk that are involved in the actual promotion itself, if you can call it that, because like they don't sell tickets and stuff like that. No, it's just they
No.
just film content for social media, right? So are those people though? Just to play devil's advocate to your argument or whatever, like, are they not bettering their lives? Are they not having fun wrestling? Do you have any insight on that? Is that not a good thing for them? Like, are they not benefiting from this whatsoever? Why would so many stay involved if they're not? Aren't there the wrestlers and I guess the fans and stuff like that benefiting? Can you shed insight on that? Do you understand what I'm getting at?
I know exactly what you're getting
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
And
Like
I have
the
an
wrestlers,
answer.
there's people wrestling. They look in great shape and they're doing something. They look like they're having a great time. I mean, is it all so bad or yeah, what are your thoughts on that, I guess?
So there's a few things I want to say because you're
Yeah.
asking a great question that has a lot of nuance to it. Number one, they're not wrestlers. Okay, they have never been to a reputable a training school where they can learn how to be wrestlers and learn how to take care of each other and work in a safe and proper manner. Right. So we got to start there. They are not wrestlers. These are people performing wrestling moves and putting it online. Doesn't make you a wrestler. Just because you could fry an egg doesn't mean you did it right. And it certainly doesn't make you a chef. All right. So we got to make sure we're clear on that. That's number one. Number two, I have never, ever said that I have an issue with these performers. That's what I call them. I don't call them wrestlers. They're performers. I don't have an issue with them because I understand after talking to so many of them publicly and privately, and you folks can look all this stuff up, at least the public parts, I have a pretty good idea of what's going on here. Bombash Daniel has them call him Papa. He acts as if he's some paternal figure that they are indebted to. All right. So here's number one. A lot of these folks that you see, first of all, they're not orphans. They're adults for the most part, right? They're not old enough to be classified as orphans. So we got to make sure we're clear on that. And that's in Uganda. I looked up the legal definition of what an orphan is over there. A lot of these folks have jobs and they pay him to quote unquote wrestle in soft ground wrestling, right?
Oh, so they're not getting paid. They're paying.
They do not get a dime from this guy.
Oh, okay.
The most that they have ever received from him are cell phones, which he controls because he's the one paying the bill. And that's how you have a lot of these folks who have social media accounts because he personally set them up. And at any time, he can log into those accounts and make it seem like everything is okay. Right? See,
Right.
These folks have reached out to me. So I actually know what's really going on. And the ones who've broken away from him, they got a lot to say. Some of these folks are terrified of this guy, which is why they can't just, completely leave because they're afraid of what's going to happen. And then, he's plying some of these young ladies with alcohol and drugs and doing God knows what with them. A young lady's the one who told me that and showed me some pretty credible evidence on that part there of some of the things that he's up to as it pertains to the young ladies that you see there. So, who's making money off of the YouTube? I don't know if it's monetized or not, but all of that's going to Bombash Daniel, whatever that is, right? In terms of who the soft ground wrestling performers are, who are they? That's a great question. Who are they? And what is the revenue stream that can be directed directly to them? I like you, such and such wrestler. I'm going to give you a couple of bucks because I love that performance. Doesn't exist. Yeah. He controls everything. So it's this one international crime boss preying on all of these folks. And he's promising them that, yes, I'm going to find a way to make you a wrestling star, but it's not possible with the infrastructure that he has in place, or lack thereof, I should say. They don't have paying fans. They don't have events where they can go into a building and perform and things like that, and you sell tickets. None of that exists. So how? How are they making money? Well, they're not. Simple as that.
I assumed that they were, splitting up or like just taking the social media revenue and then just putting it back into funding the thing or whatever, and that's the thing. I'm so uneducated on all this stuff. Like, I don't know how far an American dollar goes in Uganda or whatever,
Very
right?
far.
So
Very far.
exactly. I mean, that's all I can assume. So I'm like, oh, they're probably taking money from the social media or whatever donations. They're just funding it back into this thing. And, it just seems on the surface, it doesn't seem like it could be so, dark and seedy. And I don't know. It feels to me like you can make a whole Netflix documentary about this thing. Could happen
It's
one
going to
day.
be incredible.
Yeah.
It will happen, and it's going to be incredible. And I'm going to be involved in it. And let me just make sure people understand. Bombash Daniel's brother is currently in jail. It's the biggest trial going on in Uganda right now for beating up a rich guy and extorting him and what have you. And it's not the first person he's done it to. These are gangsters. Yeah. This isn't some happy-go-lucky, nice people trying to put something together and start a wrestling industry in Uganda. No, these are gangsters who found a hustle, and they preyed upon the heartstrings of well-intentioned people who are giving their hard-earned money to something that's going to one guy who's then using that money for God knows what. So, man. You know what I mean? So again, I can't wait to hear some of these goofballs who boosted this nonsense and the excuses they're going to come up with, because quite frankly, especially those of you who are in quote unquote media, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Simple as that, full stop. Don't tell me about, well, so-and-so did this and so-and-so's are that and so-and-so's friends with this one. Don't hide from the fact that you literally help support and fund an international crime boss who very well could be laundering money for terrorists in Uganda, of all places. Give me a break.
This is also intense for my comedy wrestling podcast. I love it though, Duke. Geez. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess there's an update as best as we can give you. Again, we're not the news over here, but if you want to know like more in depth, Duke breaks this stuff down way more in depth. Here, they have a Hamas Diamond shirt. So here's a soft ground wrestling shirt for a particular wrestler.
So hold on a second, Phil. Let's keep that up for a second. I want to point something out to you. That Hamas Diamond shirt, right? Yeah. Look at the website that you have to go to in order to get the shirt, right?
altwrestlingtees.com. Also, the SGW logo just looks like the AEW logo.
Exactly. So here's the interesting part about that. They were originally signed to For Your Wear, which is owned by a guy who goes by Blue Magic. He's a T-shirt designer, and he's actually done some things with the WWE. He's actually made some designs that they picked up and what have you. So he's a reputable designer. I want to make sure I give Blue proper credit here. But unfortunately for Blue, he did a deal with Soft Ground Wrestling, and he was selling their original T-shirts through his site. And when everything finally came crashing down, the articles and my podcast and everything kind of coming out all at once, For Your Wear had to put up a statement saying that they were no longer going to do business with Soft Ground Wrestling. So that's why you have this random no-name website that's selling their T-shirts now.
Okay.
It's a joke. It's all a joke.
See, you're always... and then also, they jumped on, I believe, as Soft Ground Uganda, they tweeted something out. They sort of jumped on Triple H as far as the... like not featuring any like single male black talent on WWE PLEs. And I don't know, they sort of jumped on that, and then people jumped on them. They're like, well, hey, before you guys talk about anyone else, where's your ring, kind of thing. So I don't know. It's messy. This is messy over here. This altwrestlingtees.com. Let me just maybe I could even just like look it up on a window over here quickly and just see.
I guarantee you it is not anything reputable.
We might as well do the diligence while we're sitting. It's not secure. I'm going to exit. So
yep. So there it is. There it is. There it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Folks, I know there's a lot of people who may not be familiar with me who hear me and be like, wow, this guy's saying some stuff. And I don't know, man. Could this possibly be true? And then look at that. Phil just starts typing in the damn web domain and finds out it's not. Like literally right after I said it's not reputable. There it is.
Yeah, I had an option to continue or not, and it was like, it's a
Yeah.
shop, whatever, and I'm just like, I ain't gonna continue on that.
Listen, Phil, you would be out in Uganda spending all kinds of money, and you'd be like, "What? I've never even left the country. What do you mean?"
Oh man. Okay. And yeah, if you guys want more info on all this, just keep in touch with Duke, man. He is dropping the bombs when it comes to all this. So, Duke, some other stuff went down in the IWC that, I mean, last time you were on, we were sort of, and you called them out earlier, you know, Fightful in particular, and just the dirt sheets in general, who I guess don't do diligence. And that sort of happened this last week where a gentleman in the IWC was just blatantly accused of being a PDF file, because this is going to go on YouTube. Shout out YouTube. So we have Fightful, Corey Brennan of Fightful, and SRS himself coming out and blatantly accusing people that they completely got wrong. This isn't him at all. And accusing some guy of being a PDF file. Now, I've seen, you guys know the typical drone bots that tweet out, like, just the narrative. You know, I seen some of them, some of these sickos, and I don't have my soundboard, guys, but, ooh, down with the sickness. You know, I seen them as well saying other names. So we have like a quote unquote reputable news source. I call them, you guys are like CNN, you know, if I'm SNL, you guys are CNN, like you present yourselves as the news, right? And you have these accounts out there telling everyone that this guy is a PDF file, and turns out it was complete defamation. It was completely not even the guy. They're trying to dox this guy. They're trying to make accusations, and I guess the guy that they really piled up on has like he's like mentally challenged, and so I'm sorry, I don't know the proper, it's 2024, okay? We the terms change, but he has mental deficiencies. Is that correct, Duke? Help me out here, man. What am I trying to say?
I think it's I think the best way to say it, because I haven't spoken to this Joseph guy myself.
Sure.
But from what I understand from those who know him, he does have some disabilities,
right? And
some
so
mental disabilities,
right? The disability, that's the word. Thank you so much for saving me there. And I probably pissed a whole lot of people off. But anyways, he, you know, he's not. People are pushing this guy to sue. So we're gonna break this down. But people are pushing this guy to sue, and I guess behind the scene, he was like, "Oh, SRS DM me and apologized," and he's accepting it for what it is. And it's easy. I would say it's probably a little easy to manipulate someone who, you know, if they have mental disabilities, okay? And also, why would you even focus on a guy that apparently has a disability? Why would you like get mad that he's talking shit to you on Twitter? So this whole thing's insane. Now, I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but I just sort of wanted to tie it into a bow before we get into this. Paint a little picture, preface it with all of that, because now Sapp has retracted all of this stuff, and he's just like, I never said anything, and he's coping, he's worming his way out of it, and so I don't really know where to start, and that's why I wanted to kind of put it in a little box and then present it, I guess, just sort of in not a chronological order here. But so Tapped In Gangsta Bob, and I've heard Sapp, we have mutual friends, I've heard him tell people I know who DM me and go, yo, he's saying this and this about you. Sapp, you don't know me, buddy. It's that simple. So you're just making shit up, and it's all over wrestling. You need to chill, bro. Okay? So, for instance, right, we have a story that just came out where AJ Styles is injured. Dave Meltzer saying it's a legit injury. It's a legit injury. He's getting an MRI, da-da-da. Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful go, he's not actually injured, and it's just a work. So who am I supposed to believe? Right? If I don't believe Fightful, I'm an asshole and I get attacked and I get shitty DMs and night letters and all this shit. If, you know what I mean? If I believe them, then it's all good. But then if they're wrong, I look like an asshole. I've covered this to death, but this is literally the reason why, you know, Sapp will go after people, just questioning his news in general. I know a lot of people do say gross shit towards him. I'm not sure what this Joseph guy ever did specifically to get these people to try and dox him and accuse him of these egregious things, okay? But we're going to break this down just point by point. I got it all bookmarked here. And yeah, I want your thoughts on this, Duke, because I know you'll have a lot to say. Have you been following what's been going on with this whole thing, or are you completely unfamiliar with this whole situation up until now?
No, I'm completely familiar, and I got a lot to say.
Okay, so let's just start with, I guess, like this tweet here says, yeah, Corey and SRS from Fightful for show lied and defamed at Demon Evil Muscle. Sex offender and him aren't the same age, ain't from the same city. The sex offender lives in Utah now. Demon lives in Vegas. Different middle names. How does a media company not check this before accusing? Easy lawsuit. Yeah, so here I don't need to go into the details of whoever this sicko is down here. Who's been convicted or whatever. I don't know why they do this all over wrestling. It's just so silly to me, I guess. Let me see. Pro Wrestling Counselor says, these bloggers are very dangerous. They always make people when they don't like what they have to say about wrestling, and they're reporting this fake docs is why they aren't real journalists and will never be. Real journalists don't do this. Real journalists would verify this rather than just post it. Not only that, real journalists wouldn't give a fuck what some random guy on Twitter has to say. CNN isn't doxing fucking people for what they respond about Kamala Harris on Twitter or whatever. Do you understand what I'm saying, Duke? Why do they even give a fuck about this guy? It's not like this is Triple H and they're like, dude, look, he was a PDF file this whole time. You know what I mean? They're not like exposing, and no one cares. This at Gangsta Bob guy or whoever, the Demon Evil Muscle, no one gives a shit. Like, we do care, obviously, but it's not like he's controlling wrestlers' paychecks or he's signing free agents for TNA. It's not like he has anything to do with what you got. You just don't like that he's mean to you on Twitter. It's like, come on, man. You want to talk about being mean on Twitter? You're so mean on Twitter to everyone. Me too. You know what I mean? But just to take it to this level is ridiculous. And I'm kidding. I'm not mean on Twitter unless people are mean to me first, you meanies. But yeah, so this, there's just a lot here, dude. So people, isn't that defamation? Not if what Sapp is saying is true. And this guy goes, but it isn't. As it's been shown, what are you even saying? And then Sapp responds and says, I didn't say, quote unquote, anything. But look at his post right here. Well, this is what you said. Yeah, guess what I heard? And then post that about this guy, man. Like, obviously, like, Sapp, is that not what you said? So are none of your tweets things you said? That's what I mean, man. It's crazy. Hold on. So Wrestling Soup says, why is everyone in that place a fucked up narcissist? Are they even a real company? Should the FBI take a look at them and find out what the F is going on? Someone should let them know. And John Draper says, just another day in the IWC. There's a select group of people that can literally do anything they want, and there will be no consequences because people are too afraid of their reactions to call out their terrible behavior. Can you believe that shit? Embarrassing all around. And then, here's Corey jumping on going, you are a registered SO, we'll call it. I know I've said it so many times. YouTube's going to give me a yellow flag on this one, but your mugshot is everywhere. It wasn't even his mugshot. Jesus Christ. Bro, what are you doing, Corey? Don't you tweet about wrestling? What are you doing? What are you doing? Gaslighting? Mate, you're a nonce, scum of the earth. Oh, my God. And then they deleted. So all of these, mind you, as I'm reading these to you, Duke, and folks listening or watching, these have all been deleted by Sapp and this Corey guy. Social media is doing a great job reminding people of the background of Demon, whatever, as it pertains to SO. So I don't know. I think I've covered pretty much just all of the here. So here's Lady Indica Ashes at Lady Nightshade 6. She DM'd, I guess. Can you comment? So this is to Sapp. Can you comment on falsely accusing someone of being a P3DO? And Sapp says, you mean the guy who shared a bunch of fake screenshots and tweets of me accusing the same over the years? The guy who reposted a bunch of things claiming I was a drug addict, among other things. I'm good. Thanks for your concern. Okay, well, if he's done that, I'm not saying an eye for an eye, but it's just like, okay, I get why you're pissed at him, Sean. To play devil's advocate. Oh, come on now, Phil. Why are you going to fence sitting Phil over here? No, just to play devil's advocate. It can't, okay? I get why you're mad, but don't, like, so you stoop to the same level. I don't understand. If those things didn't bother you, it should roll off your back. Like, some fucking IWC sicko was like, PWT's a PDF. I've heard things, Sean, that people have told me you said about me. I let it roll off my back. You know why? Because it's not true. So, like, you got to calm down, man. You know what I mean? Maybe if you just take yourself out of it for a second, right? You seem defensive. When people get overly defensive, it typically means someone struck a chord with them because what they're saying is true, or they're taking it personally or whatever. Their conscience doesn't sit well with it. Relax, man. You know, this is now it's the whole thing. Like, they are so lucky they are not being sued, and they're so lucky that it wasn't like a someone with a brand or something like that in the space as well. That's like, no, you know what I mean? I don't know. They're just very lucky is all I'll say, that this didn't get worse for Sean, but it's incredibly, or Fightful just in general, it's incredibly unfortunate what happened to the gentleman who, I mean, has to endure this, because these accusations come and they never go away, whether true or not. And you guys know, if you listen to PWT, and then I'm going to hand it over to you, Duke. Don't worry, but you guys know I don't F with PDF files, bro. To me, that is, the epitome of scum. And I don't know what else I can say about it. I know Duke's going to go in, but just a couple more. John Draper says absolutely nothing will come of this. And that's what I'm trying to get at as well. It's unfortunate that just nothing will happen. Someone's got to I want to see wrestlers come out and go, we're not going to give this asshole interviews until, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? Maybe we shouldn't allow these guys, like, they're focusing their energy on this. Maybe they shouldn't be allowed at our press conferences after Bad Blood and shit like that for a minute until they can figure out what the fuck's going on, or maybe we'll just send them cheeses. But anyways, Draper says absolutely nothing will come of this. There's so much cowardice around, and no one has the appetite for it. It's really gross and sad. It makes me glad I barely dip my toe in this community at this point because of how awful it is. Yeah, it's gotten so bad. Duke, your thoughts on all of this? I know I rattled a lot of stuff off there, but I know you got a lot to say, and I'm going to let you go off. And anything you need me to bring up for you, you just let me know.
First and foremost, great recap. Do me a favor. Yeah, right there. That scroll down a little bit more, please.
Yep.
Let me start by saying that to the Joseph guy, my heart goes out to you, man. No one should ever be treated this way. And to be lied on like that and defamed, and really to this day, there are people tweeting saying, still calling him out, because either they haven't seen that it's not true, because it's not like Sapp or Corey or any of these other goofballs have put out public apologies. So people are still assuming, because they don't live online like a lot of these losers do. People are still assuming that this is a true thing. So my heart goes out to the Joseph guy. And I want to say, what's that page? Scroll up just a little bit more. The page that helped expose that this was not true.
Gangsta Bob Troll. Handle?
Yeah, Gangsta Bob Troll. I believe that Joseph should thank Gangsta Bob Troll and anybody else who helped bring this to light, because it doesn't appear that Joseph has done that yet. So Joseph, if you hear this, you got to thank the people who went out of their way to help you, because they did a lot for you, quite frankly. Now, with that said, I got a problem with Gangsta Bob Troll, because I saw some posts on their page where they're making fun of the way that Joseph looks, and saying that if they're doing so because and saying they don't care if this person has mental challenges or what have you. They're doing it because the person never thanked them. And I'm just going to tell Gangsta Bob, that's not right. And you shouldn't be going out there and doing things expecting something in return.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to out there trying to help people, that's a thankless job, and you got to accept that, or don't even get involved. But to make fun of somebody who you're convinced, at least, that they are mentally handicapped, it's just, you become the thing that you claim to hate. And I got a problem with that. I think it's wrong, and I think it's disgusting. So let's not go down that route. Everybody, you know what I mean? It is what it is. There's a very good reason why this guy is not doing things the way that we would expect them to do. And quite frankly, it could be because of their challenges.
Yeah.
So we got to eat that. We got to accept that. We got to move on from that. That's humanity. Imagine that. So I want to make sure that I lead with that information before I go to the other side. Now, this Corey Brennan guy, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
There are people who care about this person who have reached out to me, and they've done it on numerous occasions, and they've said to me, Duke, please do not focus on this guy. Do not, go in on this guy. Even though he keeps carrying on in a manner that certainly warrants it, please don't do it because he's got his own problems, and they're big problems. And
okay,
again,
makes sense.
I'm trying to lead with humanity.
Yeah.
By not.
I was unaware of that too until now.
Of course you're unaware. We're all unaware until somebody in the know tells us. So it's okay. But I've tried very hard to leave this goofball alone, even though they've even come after me a few times on just completely lied, quite frankly.
That's what
but
they
I
do.
tried to. That's what they do, and he's following his leader, and that's really the biggest problem. But this guy clearly, and I didn't need anybody to tell me that they got problems. I could clearly see by the way they conduct themselves. This guy's got issues. So I'm just going to say to this Corey guy, you have made it very difficult for me not to go all the way and just focus on you and talk about some of the things that you've done and how you've hurt other people and how unacceptable it is, and really just start examining who the hell you are. You know what I mean? Corey, you got to take it easy, buddy. You got to stop this. Okay. You're not built for this. This is not, come on, man. You don't want it. If people started treating you the way that you treat other people, I am afraid of how you would react to that, because unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are concerned that you might harm yourself. I'm telling you right now, Corey,
and we don't want that, dude, for sure, for nobody, for no party, like
exactly, which is why I've gone out of my way to try to leave this guy alone. So I'm just telling you, Corey, you got to stop inflicting pain and anguish on other people, because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You don't want that type of energy coming back at you. It's not worth it, bro. Yeah. So you need to cut it out. I'm very disappointed in you, Corey, for doxing somebody. And you were so poor at your job as a journalist or as a person who writes stories or whatever the hell you want to call yourself. You're so poor at your job that you couldn't even get the right person. You live in Ireland. You're not in the United States. So that's part of the reason why you made the mistake that you did. You don't even have enough sense to even understand how to narrow things down properly. But you're not from here. So there's a lot of context that you just miss, quite frankly. And shame on the people who work with you who know you got problems. And I know for a fact, Corey, that you've been in trouble more than once because of you flying off the handle and doing nonsensical things, and you've been threatened to be let go from Fightful, which is fascinating to me. I didn't even know that they move that way, but I found out they do. Yeah. Corey, you need to cut it out, bro. Because if I know that, I know a lot more than that. Okay? I'm telling you right now, bro, you should have publicly apologize, and I think you still need to do it.
I think everyone needs to apologize, right? to yeah, absolutely,
to that guy, because it was just completely horrific what you folks did. You turned that person's world upside down, and the lasting impact of that, boy, you know what I mean? That lives on the internet. And again, Corey, you would not want somebody to do that to you, and they very easily could, based on the way that you've conducted yourself in real life. And I'm going to say it again, based on the way you have conducted yourself in real life. Brother, I have no problem doing that episode. Yeah. And I've been holding back because I respect some of the people who care about you. But I'm telling you, Corey, we're getting close to the last straw that breaks the camel's back. And when I do it, it's for real. So I'm just going to put it like that, because I'm not here to play games, bro. I'm very efficient. So I'm going to leave it there. Now, over to Sapp. Yeah. What a low life this guy is, to sit here and completely destroy another person's life.
I wish I could blank out. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I just wish I could blank out all this guy's stuff too, because it's like I'm I'm sort of contributing.
It's a totally different guy. It's a totally different guy.
I know it's not the guy, but this is still a guy, not that I'm like, it's just like, I don't know why it's people's info. Why are people's info going every? It's so stupid.
Here's the thing. I mean, that's all public record, but you got to find it. But let me just say
okay, well then chill. Okay, that's chill then. Here,
to the guy who really did commit those crimes,
fuck him. Yeah,
shame on you, and I hope that you continue to endure the punishment that comes along with doing things like that.
Yeah.
With that said, that person didn't deserve to be doxxed in this situation either. So I'm going to make that clear as well. Yeah. No one deserves to be doxxed, quite frankly. So Sapp, who's supposed to be this person who fact checks and he gets 3 sources and all, brother, clearly that's not what you do. And to turn around and say, well, this guy made up things about me. Well, so what? So that means
exactly,
that you're going to completely lie about a guy. You're supposed to have all this reputable, professional, standing here, and you have the audacity on a page where where literally the company that you are minority owner of. It's in the title. It's in the name. So you're representing your company in these moments, and you have other people who work for you, quite frankly, because I heard that you're the one who threatened to let Corey go before. You got people working under you, and you're coordinating this nonsense, this attack on people. And for what? Because the guy took issue with something that you did professionally? Come on, buddy. I'm just telling you right now, Sean Ross Sapp, again, I think he's a talented guy. I really enjoyed his MMA coverage in the past.
Yeah.
I think that there's something there that can be utilized if it's managed properly. He definitely needs somebody to give him guardrails so he doesn't go off the reservation as he often does. But I'm just telling you, this guy, in my opinion, and I've told him this directly, he needs help. This is a sickness, the way that he carries on. Okay, it really is. He targets people. He obsesses over them. He cusses them out. He jumps all over them, and then he gets his gang because he's such a weakling. He has to round other people up to do his bidding. He gets his gang to then attack them incessantly, and then turns around and acts as if, whoa, what's the big deal? I'm telling you right now, Sean, I'm completely fine with however your life goes going forward. I feel like the way that you have inflicted so much pain and anguish on others, I'm completely fine if you get sued to hell. I'm completely fine if you end up behind bars. I'm completely fine with however anyone wants to react to the way that you've treated people. I'm just telling you right now, I'm not wishing it on anybody, but I'm not going to feel bad about anything either, because you have legitimately hurt so many people. Okay? You have no idea.
Over wrestling.
And the stress that he's put on the loved ones of others who have to see the way that people talk about people that he completely lies on. Yeah. And then his defense is, well, they did it to me. Brother, you are a lowlife, bro, and you're a lonely, scared little lowlife. Okay, there is something rotten inside of you by the way that you continue to treat other people. You're rotten. Dude, you're rotten to the core. And I'm telling you, bro, and I'm going to say it again, I do not feel bad about whatever happens to you going forward. Okay, legally, professionally, I don't feel bad about it, bro. In fact, I'm just going to nod my head and say, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, and move on, because you've kind of invited all of this to yourself by the way you conduct yourself, bro. Not to mention, you're over there helping out a whole international crime boss. Let's not even get to that. I believe that there should be some legal ramifications to that. And certainly if it's even possible, I'm going to be the one to make sure that you answer to that. If it's possible, I give you my word. Okay. If you're held accountable for that, just know I was the one who drove that train, bro. I'm telling you right now.
And I was the idiot. I was the hobo hitching a ride in the back. I swear, I'm too dumb to even.
But this is where we're at, okay?
I'm even process all that Uganda stuff, to be honest. But here, can I just throw this out here though? I think there's people pushing back, Duke. There's people pushing back now. Finally, people are starting to speak up more, which is good. And,
welcome to the party.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people had to eat a lot of shit for a long time. Can I read you this tweet that he put out here? So he goes, nobody got doxxed. Dude tweeted the same allegations about me 2 years ago. So if he did, okay, that's unfortunate. But if it's not true and he's just some guy in the IWC, why do you care? And then, but Sean says that dude tweeted the same allegations about me 2 years ago. Move on. That's how he ends it. Move on. Sean, what? No, it's not move on. It's move on for you because nothing happens to you after you do this.
Somebody did get doxxed, actually. Somebody did get doxxed.
And it's just
the person who actually is the real person in that report got doxxed.
Yeah, why can't you apologize? You can say all this, but you just can't say, I'm sorry, I want to move on. I do really apologize. I need to do better, whatever. And then here, so Sean does this too. He goes, hi, I'm unblocking you to say this is an outright lie. So he unblocks the dude to get the last, like, look at this guy's comment here. LMAO, I'm unblocking you so I can get the definitive last word. What a fucking loser this guy is. So SRS goes, hi, I'm unblocking you to say this is an outright lie. I didn't admit to doing it on purpose. Okay, bro, you put a goddamn tweet out. I mean, what is there to admit that you did on purpose? What are you going to say? You got hacked? Like, you did it on purpose. So anyways, Sean continues. That didn't happen. It was a mishap, and I reached out to... A mishap. Move on, Duke. It was a mishap. Oh my God. And I reached out to him directly. Never got an apology from him for doing the same, though. So now, Sean, you deserve an apology? You what? Dude. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Do you know what people say, Duke? Are you familiar with a gentleman named Don Lemon, who's, I believe, on CNN? Do you know what people say about Don Lemon?
He's not on CNN anymore. He's not on CNN anymore.
Okay, well, regardless, he was, right? Do you know what people, when he was on CNN, say about Don Lemon? They say he's Illuminati. There's crazy conspiracies. He's a reptilian lizard guy. People say I'm sure his tweets are crazy. You know what I mean? Sure, I'm sure the shit people say about him is insane. He's the news. Could you imagine Don Lemon doxing a dude and calling PDF files and then going, maybe, I don't know, those news guys are a little shady. Maybe they would just play it off as a mishap and move on. Maybe that would happen. But all I'm saying is, like, why are you saying you never got an apology for him doing the same 2 years ago? Why do you know or care? Like, imagine another public figure in any field, but let's try and relate it like news. Imagine like Skip Bayless. I don't know if you can compare Sean Ross Sapp to him, but just a media outlet guy where people get news from. And hot takes, I guess. Sean is also opinion op-ed, I guess, if he wants to paint himself that way. Anyways, though, imagine like Skip Bayless doing all of this over basketball. Like, yeah, if the guy is out there saying crazy shit to you, don't stoop to their level, dude. It's sort of what Duke said earlier. Do unto others is basically what he said, man. Like, you can't conduct yourself one way and then expect other people to treat you differently, if that makes any sense. We've said it so many ways now. If this guy came at Sean first and he held a grudge, okay, but you're also a public dude who's relaying news to people. Just block and move on. It's not like he said some shit and then some guy who works for his publication said something and then whatever. It's just people talking about wrestling and stuff. And I understand it too. Sean does get it. Like, people have gotten gross towards him. He's got to deal with like horrendous gross shit every day. But as Duke, I'm sure, will tell me, and has told us, well, that's what he's done to other people and outright started it before and things like that. So I don't know. Just, I find these tweets hilarious. So he unblocked him quickly to go, that didn't happen. This is just a mishap and I never got an apology. Have a nice day. And then he's saying like, no one got doxxed. Move on. And then it's seemingly the gentleman, I forget his name again, the Demon Muscle guy. He just like dropped it and let it go as well. He just put a tweet out like, yeah, he DM'd me and apologized, all is good, or something like that. And then you responded to it, Duke, and you said, multiple people from the same company coordinated an attempted dox of you, attacked you, and you were still being harassed by their followers because of it, all done in public, but an apology in DMs is enough for you. And then hilarious gif. Huh? So, yeah, what do you got to add to all that?
Well, and again, that's when I was notified that this guy allegedly has some challenges. So it's like, okay, well, that makes sense to me. So I get you can't expect him to react to things in a manner that makes sense to us, because he's just not going to do it. But let me just say this, and from a general standpoint, because a lot of people have asked this question, and I don't think anyone has really explained it. The reason why most people do not fight back against Sean and Fightful, because it's always coordinated. There's always a bunch of @Fightful people who jump on whenever Sean has an issue with anybody. The reason why there's a limit to how much they'll fight back is because they're afraid. And they're afraid because they're at least convinced that they've done something so egregious that if they fight back, then somehow, some way, Sean is going to release and make people focus on this egregious thing that they've done. And we see it in the way that Sean has targeted people, including myself. You know what I mean? I do an interview where I have a guy in Chase and Rants literally admit to multiple crimes that he's committed and explain in detail in his own words what he did wrong. And now that's out there. That's a living piece that anyone who is curious about finding a wrestling school down in Florida, and his stuff pops up all the time. You know, if you Google it, you're going to find my interview series with him, and you can hear him in his own words admit to his crime. So there's no confusion, because one of the confusions that had always existed is that people show up to his wrestling school and it's downplayed the fact that he literally is a registered sex offender. Yeah. Right. So now there's no doubt about what he is and what he did and anything like that. I'm the one that made sure that that was put out into the public. Right. But Sean has twisted that into where you platformed a PDF file and you're friends with them. And then it turns into other people saying you must be one of them because you're friends with people like that. I'm friends with a guy who I let come on my show and bury himself.
Dude, and the thing is that guy directly, sorry, Duke, I'll let you go, but fuck you, man. Like, Duke, you uncovered some shit that directly affects the wrestling business. Sean, you're going after a mark on Twitter. Sorry, Duke, go ahead. It drives me nuts, man.
But these are the tactics that they use to try to silence people. And for people who legitimately have something that you can threaten them with. So in this case, this Joseph guy, because he said some things about Sapp. Sapp was managed to convince him that what you said about me is as bad as what was said about you. So it's even, and we're going to drop it, basically. Right? You're going to apologize to me, and I'm going to apologize to you, or I'm going to put this out and I'm going to sue you for what you said. It's nonsense. But this is what he does to a lot of these folks. Because look, I put out a tweet probably about 6-7 weeks ago, making it known that I'm working on a documentary where I'm going to actively point out the harassment and what, to me, sure seems like cyber terrorism that's coordinated by these Fightful folks. And once I release that, then there will be some legal ramifications coming along with that, right? I'm gonna be holding these folks accountable personally.
Duke wants all the smoke, dude.
I want it all, and I've invited others to, if you want to be part of it, hit me up, and a lot of people have. And of course, Sapp is terrified. He's jumped in my inbox, and I told him the next correspondence you and I will have directly will be through my lawyers. I'm not going to talk to you. It's not for you and I to talk about anymore. We're going this other way. And Sean, we are going this other way. Okay, just so you know, we're going there, and I'm going to make it very special when I drop this documentary. I'm going to put it on a very special day because I want to make sure that we get the full brunt of what this is.
I'm going to
follow up with the other thing. So yeah, you'll get a screener. Don't worry. So people have reached out to me and they sent me a tremendous amount of information of all the different ways that he and others have terrorized them and hurt them in ways that it's cost them. And the majority of them are afraid to go on the record. And it's like, well, what the hell is the issue here? This guy really did this thing. You got the evidence. What's the problem? Because they're afraid of what this guy is going to put out about them. Yeah. They may have said something inappropriate to somebody who they didn't know was close with Sean. That's a one thing that I love. The point still remains, though, that these folks represent a company that does make millions of dollars each year, and they need to be held accountable legally for allowing coordinated efforts to terrorize people online. Yeah, I mean, not just online. They're calling people's family members. They're mailing things to their homes. It's just crazy stuff. And they're celebrating and bragging about it. And I got all the evidence on that as well.
Yeah.
So
wrestling.
We're going there, Sean. We're going there, Sean and friends. We're going there. All of you will be legally held accountable for the way that you've conducted yourself. But more importantly, that's that company, Fightful. The main point here is that these folks actively are online targeting people, harassing them, harassing their family members offline.
Damn.
And celebrating this and trying to drive people to the point where they do harm to themselves.
Damn, man, that's crazy, bro.
But I'm just telling you, these are the sort of things, bro. It's like, look, if there was anybody related to me in any way, friend or otherwise, who are doing these sort of things, I'm going to publicly say I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? What I'm not going to do is continue to boost it and sick them on other people as if this is the way to go. I'm telling you folks right now, okay, it's coming. You will be legally held responsible, but after the documentary, which when I drop this thing, it's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable because some of the facts in there, oof, you know, it's tough. It's tough. And we all know it. But for all of you out there who are too afraid because you have some skeletons that you're afraid to get out, that's too bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're in some cases, you're no different from them. So as far as I'm concerned, you're scumbags too. You know what I mean? Don't bellyache when you're over there doing the bad stuff too. Give me a break.
Yep.
You know? But this is where we're at, bro. And again, this has nothing to do with wrestling. All this stuff we're talking about has nothing to do with wrestling. These are terrible people doing terrible things to others. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, you're right. It does. It just goes way beyond just the graps and opinions on like whether your news is valid or not. You know, it goes way beyond that. It goes to like, I don't know. Some of these people had some shit happen in their childhoods. That's all I'll say. That fucking and you know why I know that? Because I come from that. I come from trauma. I had shit happen in my past when I was a kid. Horrible things, and you know, it's tough to manage. I get it. So but you can't be.
But
like
you're not out here trying to terrorize.
No, hell no,
because of what happened to you.
I make jokes. That's how I fucking cope with it.
let me just say this last thing, and I'm gonna throw out a challenge to you, Phil.
Sure.
And let's see if you have the cojones to step up.
Sure.
Brad Shepard. Yeah, I can get him on this show.
Let's go. You can come speak your piece. You can come tell me I'm an asshole right on my show.
Have it out on this show because here's the point. When you hear his story, and about the way that these folks have treated him and his family, and the things that they've done, and he's not the only one. So many people have similar stories to what these folks are doing. Yeah. It's tremendous. And let me again, Sapp is obsessed with Shepard. Okay, one of the things that he's admitted to me, and he's done it multiple times over years, and I have the screenshots. Sapp has said, you're friends with Brad and you don't understand. Every time that you have him on your show and you like his stuff, you're legitimizing him and that you shouldn't do that. He's a bad person. You're mad at me because I'm interacting with somebody who you don't like. Who the hell are you that it matters who I interact with?
That is madness, man. Duke,
it's madness.
It's bananas. It is absolutely bananas. Any timeline on your documentary, or you want to keep your cards close on that one?
As my Jamaican cousins will say, soon come.
Okay.
But it'll be on a very special day where everyone is available and looking for content to consume. Well, let me say that. It'll be on a very special day.
Sounds like we're all getting a Merry Christmas, guys.
Look, hey, you never know.
Well, Duke, I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate you so much. At LovesRasslin. Catch him on Duke Loves Wrestling podcast and Devon and the Duke. And just like that, folks, another edition of PWT in the bag. I am Phil Marks. Wednesday, Saturday night live shows, birthday bash on Saturday, October 19th. Make sure you're there. YouTube.com/ad for Wrestle Clips. Love you guys. See you in the Upside Down.